Okay, so absolute value, first of all, if we're taking the absolute value, it's these straight lines, that is the absolute value. And then there needs to be something in the middle, and let's say, let me put the number -3. This is saying, this in words, this is saying the absolute value of -3. Okay, what does absolute value mean? Absolute value is just distance. Usually when we talk about distance, we don't talk about negative distance, yeah, or negative time. You know, on the way home from work, I don't call my wife and say I'm -6 miles from home, I'll be home in -12 minutes, yeah. So we don't talk about negative distance. That's why we have absolute value. So, but absolute value measures the distance from 0. 0, that's like our reference point. So -3, how far is that from 0? Well, it's 1, 2, 3 units away. So the absolute value of -3 is just +3. What is the absolute value of -4? It's +4. Why? Because the -4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from 0. Likewise, what is the absolute value of 2? Well, this is just 2 because 2 is 1, 2 units away from 0. So absolute value is always positive, but be careful. Let's say we wanted to find minus the absolute value of -3. Here, think of covering this up. So the absolute value of -3 is 3, because -3 is 3 units away from 0. Now we have a negative in front, so I got to put a negative in front here. So minus the absolute value gives us a minus. So basically our rule is if there's no negative in front of the absolute value, the answer is always positive, always. This is 3, this is 6. If we had just a number in there, that's positive. But if I put a negative in front of this, well, then it makes the answer negative. So if I want to find minus the absolute value of -7, the absolute value of -7 is 7, but then I put the negative in front and we get -7. What is minus the absolute value of 12? Well, because there's a minus in front, the answer is going to be negative. That is equal to 12. You have a negative in front, so it's -12. So again, our rule, if there's no negative in front of the absolute value, you always get a positive. If there's a negative in front of the absolute value, you always get a negative. Yeah? So that's the basic idea of absolute value.